Hey, this is Anthony with RevZilla TV, where you can watch, decide, and ride. Welcome to our detailed breakdown of the new Joe Rocket Speedmaster Carbon helmet, available at RevZilla.com. So it's Joe Rocket and it's full carbon fiber. It weighs 3.3 pounds, or 3 pounds, 3 ounces rather. I'm going to correct myself there. We haven't seen Joe Rocket really do it in this flavor yet, and the new Speedmaster is going to be a nice step forward iteration on the RKT 201, which me personally, I thought was about a mid-range helmet, but now you have this $300 to $400 helmet from Joe Rocket, Snell and DOT rated, sport-oriented, and very classic in its look. I think that's one of the things that I am the mostly a fan of, is the fact that they didn't try to do graphics over carbon fiber. They didn't try to do anything really loud. I actually think it has a really nice clean line to it. If you come down here, you're going to see there's some nice angles to it, and I think we're seeing that from some of the more progressive manufacturers, and I like the angular look. I think that's where a lot of this industry is headed on some of the more progressive helmets. Now, I am going to call out one thing really quickly, and before I do that, I'd love to hear your gut reaction just at a glance on the Speedmaster Carbon. Subscribe to us at RevZilla TV on YouTube. Leave us your comments, leave us your questions right here on the page. Now, looking at it, this is one of the differentiators. It's the fit scheme. The fit on the Speedmaster Carbon is going to be neutral to round, and there's not many neutral to round sub $400 carbon fibers in the universe, let alone on RevZilla.com. So keep that in mind, that it really fits a unique niche. If you're one of those guys that's like, oh, I love carbon fiber, but I have a real long oval head shape, you've had a lot of options. For the round neutral guy that's a little bit broader than I am, this is a great option. And remember, if you're buying online, use the size chart on the page. You can always give us a shout. Remember, we ship and exchange for free, so we try to take some of the headache, some of the guesswork out of it if you're not sure about buying online. Now, moving right into some of the features here and some of the breakdown, full carbon fiber shell. I've already told you it's really light. New angular aerodynamic design, a lot of updates over the RKT 201. One of the first things you're going to notice is an improved ventilation scheme. So now we have 4 vents at the chin. You have your classic chin vent, which is open and closed here, but you also have these 2 grills, and they're adjustable from the inside. They're going to be hard to do with the glove on, but they're little dial adjusters that you can open and close, and increase the ventilation to the face. Now, it is a fog-free shield, and looking at the shield change mechanism, this is one of my nitpicks. So you have your basic shield. You can always swap it out. But I think what I've seen on the market these days, I'd like to see them come up with a little bit easier of a shield change mechanism. It's a push like that. You pop it down and pull it back just like that. But again, there's some of the other ones that are one button, snap on, snap off, that happen a little bit quicker. And I do see some other manufacturers on the market that have maybe that spring-loaded mechanism that gives you that better seal. So if you're a guy that doesn't really ride your sport bike in the rain, probably not something you have to worry about as much. But if you're going to be multi-seasoning in this, it's something you need to think about, is how tight of a seal you're going to get out of the gasket that goes around the eye port. Now, moving up to the chimney vents on top. This is a feature I like. I'm back to something that I'm seeing from the first time from Joe Rocket, and that I'm a fan of. 2 chimney vents on top of the helmet, tying in with this carbon fiber theme. These are going to be plastic vents that have the carbon fiber graphic kind of printed on them, so you don't lose anything. Again, it's kind of the murdered out carbon fiber version where it's very stealth looking. Here's what I really like about it though. You have an intake, just like every other chin vent you'd ever seen, right? So you have your intake on the front that's open and closed. But you also have a venturi, you have an exhaust. So again, you're getting that airflow, so when I'm open, now I have air coming into the front, over the hole. The hole is going to suck the air into the helmet, and then it's going to exhaust some out. It's going to pull that air across. Again, a ventilation scheme. Arai was actually the first guys we saw to do that, and it's nice to see that type of technology, that type of wind tunnel testing, making it down. Moving into the rear spoiler. No surprises here. 2 rear venturi vents, and notice it's an integrated spoiler. That is a separate piece that's kind of bolted on here, but again, it finishes the line. I will say this though, this piece here, a little bit of a grape, again, I'm going to nitpick, little piece of plastic here. We've been pushing on it pretty hard. We haven't broken it, but I'm waiting to hear from somebody out there that buys this helmet and tries to adjust the rear spoiler, which it is not. It's not adjustable and breaks this off, so be careful with that. It's an accent piece that pulls everything together, but it is non-functional. Now, if I take the helmet, I'm going to move over here to my right. I'm going to grab my donut, come back here. You're going to notice some of the finishing touches that I like. So again, angular design, carbon fiber design, super lightweight. Moving to the inside, you see that the graphic scheme of this carbon fiber is actually printed on the Qwickdry liner. So it's going to be a wicking liner, a Qwickdry liner. It's going to pull sweat away from you, fully removable, double D-ring. You know, Joe Rocket is really stepping into the land of the upgrade with this helmet being north of that $300 price point. And in doing that, you know, there are a lot of great manufacturers in that range that are building great helmets. So you have to start thinking about things like facial contour. You have to think about things like speaker pockets and the graphic scheme and the continuity of the helmet. So here's going to be my left side cheek pad. That was my right side, rather. My left is coming out as well. Notice it integrates with the neck roll. The way the neck roll's done, you will be able to do a third-party communication device on the Speedmaster Carbon, but there's no ear pocket here that's going to be cut out for an extra speaker. So I will say this to you, if you have a system, a third-party Bluetooth communicator that has a very thick speaker, you just have to be careful about how much clearance you have between the helmet and your ear. If you have big ears like me, you might run out of room. If you have a thinner speaker system, you should be okay. And if I pull out the main helmet liner here, you're going to notice that Joe Rocket's also done something that I'm a fan of, which is not having connection points at the forehead. They have connection points at the brow done in plastic. So I pull out my 3D liner, pull this bad boy over right like that, and you're going to see here's my connection points at the front of the helmet. They're going to click in, no pressure points at the forehead. It's a 3D liner. Qwickdry, if I turn it inside out, and you can see that carbon fiber graphic scheme makes it throughout, and then there are 2 snaps at the base of the head under the occipital ridge. You're never going to feel those. They're part of that piece that's just above the neck roll in the back of your head just for support. Notice the mesh lining, so it's going to keep it clean, keep it comfortable, but also allow the airflow in. Now let's dive into the helmet itself, give you a good shot of the interior. Pulling the helmet open, probably 5 to 10 millimeter vent holes throughout. You can see the light channeling that goes through the EPS, and it's going to run down. So you're going to have those vents that come in through the front. Air is going to circulate back, run down towards the neck roll, out the exhaust vents on the back. Again, they've done a lot of changes over the RKT 201. The RKT 201, like I said, in my opinion, it's being closed out right now, but it was a helmet that was kind of in the middle of the ground. Joe Rocket's taken a nice step forward, but I think the big selling point here is carbon fiber, sub $400, and neutral to round head shape, which is really nice. Now, if you want to see what the rest of the riding universe that's purchased this helmet is saying, take my advice, but also click here to learn more at RevZilla.com, read our customer reviews. It's a nice touch. We have a lot of folks over the course of time that will review this helmet based on their riding experience. You should get the benefit of that knowledge as well. As I said, we ship and exchange for free. And if you want to talk to a gear geek about nuances, about fit, about positioning, about competitors within the same price type category, see us at RevZilla.com or 877-792-9455. Thanks for watching our detailed breakdown of the new Joe Rocket Speedmaster Carbon helmet. I'm Anthony. We'll see you next time.